Did you know that over 48 million Americans experience foodborne illness each year? And that more than 3,000 deaths occur as a result? What's even more alarming? A disproportionate number of those affected are over the age of 60. Seniors, who often do everything right, buy organic, cook clean, can still fall victim to invisible threats hiding in their own kitchens. Now think about this, the refrigerator. It's the one place we trust, a symbol of freshness, safety, and control. But what if that trust is misplaced? What if some of the most common foods in your fridge are actually losing nutrients, forming toxins, or even becoming breeding grounds for bacteria? According to research from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, aging affects not just your immune system, but also how your body handles digestion, absorption, and detoxification. Meaning, your tolerance for tiny mistakes? It's not what it used to be. A food that might make a 30-year-old mildly bloated could send a 70-year-old to the hospital. That's why today's video is critical, because it's not about trendy health fads or overpriced supplements. It's about simple corrections in how you store everyday foods. And if you stick with me to the end, I'll reveal one common kitchen habit that silently sabotaged my own mother's digestion until we caught it. Let me be clear, this is not about scaring you. It's about equipping you. So many seniors feel frustrated, constantly guessing why they feel bloated, sluggish, or inflamed after eating healthy meals. Sometimes the culprit isn't what you eat, it's where you keep it. In this video, we'll explore 3 foods that should never be refrigerated because doing so destroys their texture, damages their nutrients, and in some cases, creates dangerous chemical changes. Then we'll flip the script and look at 3 foods that must be kept cold, or else become a silent risk to your gut, heart, and immune system. If you're someone who wants to age actively, cares for a parent or grandparent, or just wants your fridge to serve your health, not undermine it, then you're in the right place. Before we begin, drop a yes in the comments if you've ever stored something in the fridge just because that's how you were taught. And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button. We post weekly content to help you eat smarter, feel stronger, and age with clarity. Let's start with the first food on our list. It's something nearly everyone refrigerates, but shouldn't: peanut butter. Smooth, satisfying, and for many seniors, a pantry staple. It's protein-rich, high in healthy fats, and easy to eat. But what if refrigerating your peanut butter, something millions of people do without question, might actually be working against your health? That stiff jar of peanut butter in your fridge? It could be hurting both your heart and your hands. Natural peanut butter is full of monounsaturated fats, the good kind that support cardiovascular health. But what most people don't know is that these fats harden in cold temperatures. When you chill peanut butter, it becomes stiff, almost impossible to spread, especially for seniors dealing with arthritis or reduced grip strength. But texture is just the beginning. Repeatedly moving the jar in and out of the fridge triggers oxidation, a process that breaks down those healthy fats and turns them into inflammatory compounds. Oxidized fats have been linked to increased LDL cholesterol, chronic inflammation, and vascular damage. A 2021 review in Frontiers in Nutrition found that oxidation in nut oils stored below 10 degrees C increased by over 32% within 1 week. Worse, vitamin E, an antioxidant vital for brain health and cognitive clarity, also degrades quickly under cold, oxygen-rich conditions. Instead of refrigerating, store your peanut butter in a cool, dry pantry away from sunlight. Stir natural peanut butter well after opening to prevent separation, and keep the lid tightly sealed. Most jars last 1-2 months without refrigeration once opened. For a senior-friendly snack, spread room-temperature peanut butter on soft whole-grain bread, then sprinkle ground flaxseed or chia seeds for added omega-3s. Want something sweeter? Mash half a ripe banana into it for a brain-boosting, heart-healthy energy bite. Refrigerating peanut butter may seem harmless, but over time, it can stiffen your hands, oxidize your oils, and rob you of the very nutrients you rely on. So the next time you reach for that jar, ask yourself, is it cold comfort or room temperature power? Onions. They're the foundation of countless meals, known for their flavor, heart health benefits, and natural antimicrobial properties. But when you store whole onions in the refrigerator, their value doesn't just decline, it can quietly turn against you. What most people don't realize is that onions were never meant to live in a cold, humid space. Their protective papery layers are designed to resist moisture and light. But inside the fridge, those layers absorb condensation. The result? Onions soften, darken, and break down faster than expected. As they degrade, something else happens. Quercetin, one of their most powerful antioxidant compounds, begins to disappear. This compound has been linked to reduced inflammation, improved immune function, and even protection against certain cancers. But cold storage causes a gradual collapse of the onion's cellular structure, leading to nutrient loss you won't see until it's too late. A post-harvest study from the USDA showed that onions stored near high moisture produce, like celery or leafy greens, developed visible mold 50% faster and lost over 30% of their quercetin content within days. For seniors, who often already deal with reduced antioxidant capacity, that's a quiet but significant loss. There's also the issue of digestion. As onions break down in the fridge, they become a haven for bacteria and mold, especially in their inner layers. For older adults with sensitive guts, even trace exposure to these microbes can lead to bloating, cramps, or more serious inflammation. Instead, store whole onions in a mesh basket, paper bag, or open container in a cool, dry cupboard. Never store them next to potatoes, which release gases that speed up onion spoilage. For chopped or pre-cut onions, refrigeration is safe, but only for 2 to 3 days, and always in airtight glass containers. For those with sensitive digestion, sautéing fresh onions in olive oil is a gentler way to enjoy their flavour without upsetting the gut. You still retain many of the antioxidants while avoiding the risk that comes with storing them wet and cold. Your fridge isn't always the hero in your kitchen. In the case of onions, it can quietly turn a healing food into one that creates more problems than it solves. Give your onions the space and breath they need, outside the fridge, and let them serve your health the way they were meant to. Bananas are more than just a fruit. For many older adults, they're a comfort, soft, easy to chew, and gentle on the stomach. From breakfast routines to afternoon snacks, bananas offer a familiar kind of nourishment. But when stored in the refrigerator, that comfort can quickly turn into confusion. At first glance, chilled bananas may seem fine. The peel darkens, sure, but the inside looks the same, at least for a while. But refrigeration doesn't just change the appearance. It interferes with the very biology that makes bananas so beneficial. Bananas are tropical fruits. Their natural ripening process is driven by warm temperatures. Inside the fridge, that process is halted. Enzymes that convert starch into sugar are suppressed, leaving the fruit firm, starchy, and lacking sweetness. The familiar creaminess? Gone. In its place, dryness and uneven texture. But beyond taste and texture, there's a more important issue: nutrition. Bananas contain dopamine and catechins, natural antioxidants that support brain health, mood stability, and cardiovascular function. These compounds degrade rapidly in cold environments. A 2020 study in the Journal of Food Biochemistry found that bananas stored at refrigerator temperatures lost nearly 40% of their dopamine content within 48 hours. For seniors who already face age-related challenges in memory and inflammation, that's not a small detail. It's a quiet loss of protection. Storing bananas at room temperature is simple. Use a breathable fruit bowl or hang them to avoid bruising. Don't wrap them in plastic or seal them in containers. Bananas need airflow. If they ripen too fast, peel and freeze them. Freezing locks in fiber and potassium while stopping further nutrient decline. You can slice them for smoothies, mash them for baking, or simply eat them frozen as a natural treat. Even overripe bananas, when frozen, become a source of calm energy. Ideal for seniors who need stable blood sugar and easy digestion. So if you're keeping bananas in the fridge, thinking you're preserving them, you're actually doing the opposite. You're slowing their flavor, weakening their nutrition, and possibly exposing your body to more inflammation than you realize. Keep bananas where they belong, on the counter, in the warmth, the way nature intended. And when they go brown faster than expected, don't toss them. Freeze their value. Don't let a familiar fruit quietly lose its purpose. Garlic. It's a kitchen essential, a centuries-old remedy, and for many, a daily habit. Its sharp bite and rich aroma turn bland food into something healing and alive. But when you store garlic in the refrigerator, you may be doing the exact opposite of what garlic was meant to do. Garlic needs air. It was never meant to be trapped in a cold, sealed environment. Yet millions of people do just that. Toss it into the fridge drawer, thinking it'll last longer. What actually happens? Moisture. Cold air triggers condensation inside the garlic's protective skin. That moisture seeps into the cloves, softening them and encouraging mold growth from the inside out. You won't see the change at first, but within days, garlic loses its firmness, aroma, and most importantly, its medicinal potency. Garlic's most powerful compound is allicin, which forms when the clove is crushed or chopped. Allicin is known for its antibacterial, antiviral, and cholesterol-lowering effects. But here's what you may not know. Allicin is fragile. It begins to degrade rapidly in cold, moist environments long before you peel the clove. A report from the Journal of Food Science found that refrigerated garlic cloves lost up to 35% of their active sulfur compounds within just 4 days. That means by the time you're ready to use it, the very thing that gives garlic its power may already be gone. Instead, store whole garlic bulbs in a dry, well-ventilated basket. A ceramic garlic keeper with air holes is ideal. Avoid plastic containers or closed jars. They trap moisture and accelerate sprouting. And never peel garlic until just before use. For flavor and function, roast whole bulbs in the oven at low temperature. Roasted garlic retains antioxidants and becomes sweet, soft, and easy to digest. Perfect for spreading on toast, mixing into soups, or blending with olive oil for a heart-healthy topping. Garlic is a gift, both culinary and medicinal. But storing it in the fridge turns it into a soft, mold-prone shell of itself. It's a quiet betrayal of a food that once fought for your health. So let it breathe. Let it dry. Let it do what it's always done, protect you, one clove at a time. Tomatoes. Juicy, vibrant, full of summer sun. Whether sliced into a sandwich or simmered into sauce, they're everywhere in our kitchens, and for good reason. Tomatoes are rich in lycopene, vitamin C, and potassium. They're good for the heart, the skin, even the brain. But most people don't realize how quickly their benefits vanish the moment they're put in the fridge. Let's start with flavor. Tomatoes are sensitive fruits, born in warm climates. When they're exposed to cold, the cell walls begin to break down. The result? Grainy texture. Water leaks out. That familiar juiciness? Gone. And the taste? Muted. The chemical reactions that produce the classic tomato aroma stop at low temperatures. You can't get it back once it's gone. Ever bite into a tomato that looked ripe but tasted like nothing? That's cold damage. Irreversible. But it's not just about taste. It's about what's happening inside. Lycopene, one of the most powerful antioxidants found in food, starts to degrade rapidly once a tomato's cell structure is damaged by cold. And vitamin C? It leaches out into that thin, watery layer you'll see on the surface. A study from the University of Florida showed that refrigerating tomatoes for just 48 hours reduced their volatile flavor compounds by 65%. But more alarming was that over 20% of their vitamin C was lost in that time and never recovered. For older adults, this matters. These nutrients protect against oxidative stress, heart disease, and even certain cancers. And the fridge? It turns a protective food into a bland, broken fruit. Instead, store tomatoes at room temperature, away from direct sunlight. Place them stem side down on a plate or in a shallow bowl. This helps them retain moisture and ripen evenly. Only refrigerate them if they're fully ripe, and you can't eat them within 24 to 48 hours. Here's the game changer. Roasting bruised or overly ripe tomatoes brings them back to life. Slice the stem, drizzle with olive oil, and bake at 150 degrees. You'll concentrate the flavor, preserve the lycopene, and create something your body will thank you for. My mother, 74, used to keep all her tomatoes in the fridge until she noticed her favorite salads started tasting bland. When she switched back to countertop storage, even her energy improved. It wasn't magic. It was just giving food a chance to work the way nature intended. So if tomatoes are in your fridge right now, take them out. Give them air. Give them time. They're not just garnish. They're medicine in disguise. There's something comforting about leftovers. A bowl of stew from last night, a few slices of roasted chicken, a spoonful of rice. Simple, familiar, and easy to reheat. But while these meals may seem harmless, leaving them out at room temperature for too long can quietly turn them into a real health threat. Here's what most people don't realize. Cooking kills bacteria, yes, but it doesn't protect food afterward. Once a meal cools down, it enters a danger zone. Between 5 degrees and 60 degrees, bacteria multiply rapidly. Every 20 minutes, the number of microbes can double. That means the longer food stays on your kitchen counter, the more dangerous it becomes. And for seniors, the risks are much higher. As we age, our stomach acid weakens. Our immune system slows down. The body's ability to fight off pathogens isn't what it used to be. What would give a younger person mild nausea could trigger serious digestive distress, dehydration, or even hospitalization in someone over 65. One of the most dangerous bacteria in this context is Listeria. It thrives in cooked meats that are left warm. Another is Clostridium perfringens, a silent threat that causes cramps, diarrhea, and weakness. It doesn't smell. It doesn't change how food looks. But it spreads quietly, especially in stews, gravies, and sliced meats. According to the CDC, over 1 million cases of foodborne illness each year are linked to improperly stored cooked foods. And seniors are hospitalized 3 times more often than the general population due to complications. What's the fix? Simple. Always refrigerate cooked food within 90 minutes, 60 minutes if your kitchen is hot. Divide large portions into smaller containers so they cool faster. Use shallow glass dishes with lids to reduce bacterial growth. And label everything with a date. Leftovers should be eaten within 3 to 4 days. After that, even if they look fine, the bacterial load becomes unpredictable. Reheat, then warm heat, no more till steaming hot, not just warm. And don't trust your nose. Many dangerous microbes don't smell at all. Think of your fridge not just as a convenience, but as a shield. It's not about saving flavour. It's about protecting your gut, your energy, your ability to bounce back. Because as we age, even a small mistake with leftovers isn't so small anymore. Milk, cheese, yogurt. These aren't just food groups, they're rituals. A glass of milk at breakfast. A slice of cheese with afternoon crackers. A spoonful of yogurt before bed. For many seniors, dairy is both nourishment and routine. But when handled incorrectly, even briefly, these familiar foods can quickly turn dangerous. Dairy is nutrient-rich. That's what makes it great. But it's also why it's so vulnerable. Bacteria love it. Left out of the fridge for even a short period, dairy becomes a perfect breeding ground for pathogens like E. coli, Salmonella, and Listeria. And the consequences can escalate fast, especially for older adults. Your body doesn't fight bacteria the way it used to. The stomach lining is thinner. Immune responses are slower. One lapse in storage, leaving yogurt on the table or milk in a warm room, can lead to nausea, cramps, or even systemic infections that take weeks to recover from. A 2022 report in the Journal of Gerontological Nutrition found that over 40% of food-related hospitalizations in people over 70 involved dairy mishandling. In most cases, the food appeared fine. The smell was normal, but the damage was already done. That's why dairy should always be kept cold, below 4 degrees, ideally on the middle shelf of the refrigerator, not the door, where temperatures fluctuate. And always return it immediately after use. Don't let it sit out while you cook or eat. Check expiration dates carefully. Sell by and use by aren't just suggestions, they matter more as your body becomes more sensitive to change. And don't taste test suspicious milk or cheese. The old habit of just a sip can carry real consequences now. What about soft cheeses like brie or feta? They're even more sensitive. These high-moisture cheeses grow bacteria faster and must be consumed quickly once opened. Store them in breathable wax paper or dedicated cheese wrap, never plastic. For digestion, pairing dairy with fibre, like adding chia to yogurt or nuts with cheese, can help stabilize blood sugar and ease processing. Dairy can still be a powerful source of calcium, vitamin D, and protein. It helps preserve bone density, support muscles, and improve recovery. But only when kept cold, handled fast, and treated like what it is: fragile, living nutrition. So next time you open the fridge, think of your milk and yogurt not as groceries, but as medicine with a shelf life. Protect it, and it will protect you right back. Spinach, kale, romaine. These leafy greens aren't just the base of a salad, they're some of the most powerful foods on your plate. Loaded with folate, magnesium, vitamin K, and antioxidants, they help protect your brain, strengthen bones, support circulation, and fight inflammation. But they're also some of the most fragile. Once harvested, leafy greens begin a slow, invisible countdown. Their cell walls start to degrade, moisture begins to seep, and nutrients leak away. If they're not kept cold, that countdown speeds up, fast. At room temperature, the delicate balance inside those leaves collapses. Enzymes activate that break down chlorophyll. Vitamin C dissipates. And worse, bacteria like E. coli and Listeria find perfect conditions to grow. A 2021 study by the FDA found that when leafy greens were stored above 8 degrees Celsius for just 4 hours, microbial growth increased by over 300%. The leaves still looked green, still crisp, but they carried invisible risks that mattered more for seniors. Because here's the hard truth. As we age, our gut barrier becomes thinner. Our immune response takes longer to activate. And what may feel like a minor stomach upset for someone younger could turn into 3 days of exhaustion, dehydration, and flare-ups for someone over 65. The solution is simple, but strict. Store leafy greens in the crisper drawer of your fridge, the one with humidity control. Keep them loosely wrapped in paper towels to absorb extra moisture. Avoid sealed plastic bags, which trap condensation and accelerate decay. And never leave them out on the counter, even for a few hours. If greens begin to wilt or show brown spots, wash and cook them instead of throwing them away. Sautéed spinach or steamed kale still retain much of their minerals and are easier to digest for sensitive stomachs. Leafy greens may look strong, but they're sensitive allies. Treat them with care, and they'll give back protection, clarity, and strength. Think of your fridge not just as a box, but as a time machine. Every hour you keep those greens cold is another hour you preserve their healing potential. So next time you return from the market, don't wait. Open the crisper, give them space, and give your body the nourishment it deserves, leaf by leaf. So let's step back and ask a simple question. How many of our kitchen habits come from understanding, and how many come from assumption? We refrigerate out of routine, out of habit, sometimes out of fear. But as you've seen today, not everything belongs in the cold. Some foods lose their power there. Others become dangerous without it. We learned that peanut butter stiffens and oxidizes. Onions and garlic lose their healing edge in moist conditions. Bananas turn from brain boosters to nutrient shells. Tomatoes, once vibrant, become dull and broken. We also learned that cooked meats, dairy, and leafy greens, if not kept cold, can quietly sabotage your immune system. The fridge is not the villain, and the counter isn't always the hero. What matters is knowing what belongs where and why. Because for those of us over 60, every bite matters. Every food choice is a vote for strength or struggle. And it's the little changes, where you store an onion, how soon you cool leftovers, that ripple into better digestion, stronger immunity, and a clearer mind. Here's a simple challenge for this week. Take 15 minutes to reorganize your fridge and pantry. Move out the garlic and the bananas. Bring the dairy front and center. Label your leftovers. Let the foods that are fighting for your health actually do their job. Then share this with someone you care about. A spouse, a sibling, a neighbor. Because this isn't just about information, it's about prevention. About protecting the independence and vitality we've worked so hard to build. And if you found this video helpful, tap the like button. Subscribe for more weekly insights into smart eating and aging well. And before you go, there's one more habit even health-conscious seniors often overlook. It has nothing to do with refrigeration, but everything to do with inflammation. Click the next video to find out what it is. Take care of your food, and your food will take care of you.